Hello and welcome to Mooncat Yoga. So my name is Georgie and today we are going to be practicing a lovely balancing sequence. So we are going to be creating balance within the body, practicing some slightly stronger sequences but tempering those with some lovely cooling postures. For this practice, it might be nice to have a bolster, maybe some cushions. If you don't have a bolster, then a really nice tightly rolled up blanket or towel will also suffice. If you don't have blocks or bricks, then again, some nice big chunky cookbooks I'm sure will also work just as well. I like to use knee pads in my practice. But again, if you don't have knee pads, then you can always have a cushion or again, a folded up towel. So let's start our practice, just coming to that lovely quiet place. I invite you to close your eyes or soft focus. And let's just begin by observing the breath. Just noticing that lovely inhale through the nose. And then exhale through the nose. Just lovely slow breaths. Focusing on where you're breathing. So perhaps today you're breathing into your belly, maybe into your rib cage. Maybe today you're breathing a little bit more shallow. If you are breathing shallow, let's try to direct that breath down into the rib cage or the belly. And then let's scan the body. Try and soften any places where we might be holding some tension or gripping tightly in certain areas. So scanning from the head down the neck, that space between the neck and the shoulder, softening. Maybe bringing a little bit of length to the spine. Softening the hips, the knees, and if sitting cross-legged or in Sukhasana doesn't feel nice for you today, then you always have that lovely option of taking Dandasana with the legs out in front. So always work with your body, how it feels, listening to our body. It always tells us intuitively what we need today. So let's take a few more lovely breaths. And then if you have got your eyes closed, gently blink them open. So we're going to start by lying on our back. So nice and gently. So feet perhaps as wide as the mat here. And then on your next exhale, we're just going to allow both knees to move over towards the right. And then we inhale to center and then exhale over to the left. So just taking it really nice and slowly, maybe not aiming to have the knees all the way down to the floor first of all, but just working maybe 80% of how you would normally practice. And then slowly perhaps allowing those muscles to release and allow those knees, the legs to come down onto the floor. Good. One more to the left, inhaling, exhaling, and returning to center. 3 half bridge rolls. So this is a really nice way to stretch the front of the body, the back of the body. And you have that nice option if you wish to float the arms up and overhead. Just see how you feel. If you're feeling like you'd like to be a bit more grounded today, then keep your arms pressing to the side of the body. But let's begin by setting our foundation. So we lift and spread the toes, ground through the feet, we tuck the tailbone under and we scoop the shoulder blades under, keeping the chin tucked in. Then in your next inhale, we slowly start to lift the hips, pressing through the feet. We come all the way up on that inhale, maybe floating the arms up and overhead. And then exhale slowly all the way back down with lovely control. 2 more. Synchronizing that breath with the movement. Last one. And then let's draw one knee to the belly, the other knee to the belly, have a little rock from side to side. And then either pressing up to seated, or we're going to hold the back of our legs and rock all the way up. The Navasana, boat pose. So here we really want to have our heart lifted, shoulder blades down the back. Coming onto our tippy toes, hugging in the belly, the lower ribs, sitting onto our sit bones. So Navasana, boat pose. We're just going to start with some little toe taps. So inhale, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's try together. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Maybe you want to try taking the arms away, seeing how that feels. Maybe not today. One more. Inhaling, exhaling, and then making our way all the way to Dandasana. So Dandasana, legs out in front, sitting up on our sit bones, grounding through our hips. We're going to bend the left leg and crossing the left leg over the right. So really grounding through that left foot, keeping the right leg nice and active by flexing the foot. The right hand to the right side of the hip as we inhale and exhale as we side stretch. But pressing through that left foot, you should feel a really lovely stretch to the outside of the hip, also the left side of the waist. Just relaxing the head, seeing how that feels. Maybe you're working to your elbow to the mat. Maybe we're here. You'll feel different on different days. Nice big inhales, feeling that lovely stretch, and the inhale expanding the ribs. And then inhale and exhale. Let's take a twist to the right. So taking the left arm to the inside of the left leg, right hand comes behind. We inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale as we twist. Again, keeping that right foot flexed. Seeing how your neck feels, you may want to turn to look over your right shoulder. But again, listening to your body. Returning to center, slowly uncrossing the left leg. Returning to Dandasana. Let's just take a little bounce of those thighs. And let's take that to the other side. So this time bending the right leg, crossing the right leg over the left, keeping the left foot flexed, and then ground through that right foot. Left hand to the left side of the hip as we inhale and exhale, side bend over this time to the left, pressing through that right foot. So this time perhaps feeling that stretch through the right side of the hip, the right side of the waist, the rib cage. Really stretching away with that top arm. Slowly inhale and exhale. Taking the right arm to the inside of the right leg. Left arm comes behind. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale as we twist. Maybe looking over that left shoulder. Maybe keeping the chin in alignment with the chest bone. Lovely big breaths. And inhale to center, uncrossing the leg, returning to Dandasana. Let's just take that little bounce and make our way to tabletop. So cat-cows. So this is a really lovely way of the spine flowing with our breath. So just checking that alignment, wrists underneath the shoulders, spread those fingers, middle finger pointing forwards, knees stacked underneath the hips. So as we inhale, the head lifts, the heart lifts, the belly softens, shoulder blades down the back, a gentle hugging in of the upper arms. And then exhale, tuck under the tailbone, scooping belly, lower ribs, relax the head, really arching up to the ceiling. 2 more, inhaling. So the movement starts with the head, and then as we exhale, the movement starts at the tailbone, tucking everything under. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Good. Returning to tabletop. So flying tiger with obliques and curls. So we practice this quite a lot in the Mooncat yoga classes. It's a really nice way to bring warmth to the body. It's quite dynamic. It brings strength to the arms and also to the obliques, to the muscles on the sides of the waist. So we're going to start with the right leg and left arm. So we inhale, stretching away. Exhale as we hug the elbow towards the hip crease, the right knee towards the elbow. We inhale and then we exhale, curl in. Inhale, keeping everything in alignment. Inhale, exhale, curl. Inhale, exhale to the elbow. Inhale, exhale, curl. Last one. Inhale, exhale, elbow. Inhale, exhale, curl. Returning to tabletop, just take a breath. So this time, right arm, left leg. So inhale, stretching away. We take the left knee to the left elbow, right elbow to the right hip crease. And then inhale, exhale, curl everything in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Returning to tabletop. Press back to child's pose for a breath. So here you might want to have knees together, or you might want knees wide. So sending those hips back, stretching forwards. Forehead to the earth. If your head doesn't reach the mat, just take potato hands and just rest the head on the hands. Allowing everything to soften. Focusing back on the breath. And then stretching the hands forwards as we inhale back to tabletop and exhale as we send those hips up high all the way to downward facing dog. And then inhale as we step, jump, hop, walk to the front of the mat. So taking ragdoll, so just nice and relaxed. Allowing the head to be heavy, bending the knees as much as you like, just to lay the belly on the thighs. Then ground through the feet as we lift up with strength, lifting, hugging in the belly, lower ribs, bringing up the kneecaps, tucking under the tailbone as we lift to rise, and hands to heart center. So windmill arms, so trying to keep those hip points pointing forwards. We inhale with the right arm, taking the palm away. As we exhale, send the arm back. Inhale with the left, take the palm away. Exhale. Inhale, so really working into the shoulders. Exhale, inhale, exhale. One more to each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take a couple of lovely shoulder rolls. And we're going to make our way to the front of the mat. So we're going to practice Surya Namaskar B, so Sun Salutation B. So when we practice the left, we're also going to incorporate Lounge Lizard. So for this, I like to use a bolster, but you can have a rolled up blanket or towel, so make sure that is at the front of your mat ready. And having a knee pad if you need them. So Surya Namaskar B with Lounge Lizard. So finding our focus in Tadasana, ground through the feet. So we are mountains, but we are also not locking out the knees. We have softness to the elbows. So we inhale to Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale into the fold. Inhale as we lift halfway, really sending those shoulder blades back. And exhale, plant the hand, step back with the right foot. Here I like to pad up my right knee. So feeling lovely and stable. Squeeze those thighs to the midline as we inhale for the crescent lunge. So heart moving forwards, relaxing the shoulders. Really stretching into the front of that right hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back to plank. So keeping that tailbone tucked under, belly hugging in, heels to the back of the mat. Inhale, expand the upper back. Exhale, down with the knees, the chest, the chin, lowering with control. Elbows tucked in tight to the body. So pressing the pubic bone to the mat. Slide the hands forwards. So maybe we're taking Sphinx. Maybe you want to take Baby Cobra. Maybe you want to take Cobra. But listening to your body, to your back. Squeezing the glutes. Exhale, lower, plant the hands, tuck the toes, lifting to knees, downward facing dog, or straight to downward facing dog. So inhale. Raising that right leg up, exhale, stepping it through, padding up this time the left knee. Inhale for that crescent lunge. Heart lifted. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step into the fold. Inhale to Utkatasana. And exhale as we take Tadasana. Well done. So make sure if you do have water to have regular sips throughout the practice. Even in Scotland we have warm weather, so today is a warm day, so we are experiencing some heat, so do drink lots of water. So Surya Namaskar B to the left with Lounge Lizard. So inhale to Utkatasana. Exhale to fold. Inhale as we lift halfway, shoulders back. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping back with the left foot. Squeeze those thighs together. Inhale for the crescent lunge. Nice. So here we're going to take Lounge Lizard. So reaching for our bolster. So we might be on this end, we might be even a little higher. We're just going to place that to the inside of the right leg, the right foot. So staying here, really lunging this left hip forwards. And we're going to slowly perhaps try to work onto forearms. Palms together, squeezing that right knee towards the belly, towards the side of the body. Relaxing the head. Now some people might be able to go lower than this, but let's just stay on a higher position for now. It's quite a strong pose in the hips, hip flexors at the front of the hip. Holding for another breath. And then slowly inhale, lifting up, moving the bolster to the front as we step back to plank. Inhale, expand upper back, exhale, down knees, chest, chin, lower with control. So sliding the hands forwards, lifting for your choice of back bend, really pressing that pubic bone into the mat, hugging in the lower belly. Exhale, lower, plant the hands, lifting to downward facing dog or knees downward facing dog. So inhale, this time we're going to take the left foot forwards, padding up the right knee. Inhale for the crescent lunge. And then moving the hands forward, reaching for the bolster as we take lounge lizard to the other side. So squeezing, really squeezing that left leg towards the side of the body. So let's just stay here for a moment. Just allowing all those muscles to release. And then maybe working to forearms. Just see how that feels. Holding here for a breath, squeezing that thigh. It's a very strong pose, lots of breath. And then slowly, as we inhale, lifting up, move the bolster out of the way. We inhale, stepping all the way forwards. Exhale to fold. Inhale to Utkatasana. And exhale as we take Tadasana. Well done. So let's move these props out of the way. So our next sequence, we're going to take chair pose, coming into drinking bird. So remembering that drinking bird is where we take Utkatasana, coming into drinking bird, onto those tiptoes. So let's practice this sequence. So we practice this in our classes in July. So hopefully this will be still in the memories of all people who came to the Mooncat yoga classes last month. So let's come to the front of our mats. So we inhale to Utkatasana. Exhale into drinking bird, coming up onto those tippy toes. Then pouring all the way into the right leg as we inhale, sending the left foot forwards. Hands to heart center. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Transitioning into Warrior C. Reaching the hands forwards as we slowly find the mat, inhaling to Warrior A. So when we step back, making sure there's enough space to really encourage that left hip forwards. So Warrior A. Arch your arms, keeping the right arm where it is. We're going to lower the left, bending at the elbow. So here we might be holding on to our clothing. We might find the fingers and have the bind with the fingers, but relax neck. Again, nice big breaths. Slowly inhaling to Warrior A. Reaching all the way forwards, plant the hands, step back to plank. Inhale, expand upper back, exhale down, knees, the chest, the chin. Pubic bone to the mat, slide the hands forwards, lifting for your choice of back bend. So really pulling forwards and up, heart lifted. Exhale, lower, plant the hands, lifting to downward facing dog. Inhaling to the knees, dolphin dips. So I again like to pad up my knees for dolphin dips. So coming onto the forearms, we hold the outside edges of our elbows. Pivot the hands, linking the fingers, lock those fingers in place. Then we tuck under the tailbone, We encourage our chest bone up into the spine, so really encouraging this space between the shoulder blades to be strong and active. So let's start with 7, and we'll practice these on our knees. So inhale, come forward, touching the chin to the outside of the hands, pressing through those arms, and exhale, press back. Inhaling, exhale back. Inhale, nice and slow. Exhale, 4 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. Well done. So returning to tabletop, tucking those toes as we lift down, facing dog. Inhale as we step, jump, hop to the front of the mat, lifting halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale as we lift, rise. And exhale, hands to heart center. Well done. So let's take that to the other side. So ground through the feet. Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale into drinking bird. On the tippy toes. This time I'm going to pour all the weight into the left leg as we inhale, straightening the right. And exhale, hands to heart center as we come all the way back to warrior C. Inhale, taking the arms forwards. Exhale, plant the foot, warrior C, warrior A. This time to the left. Good. Arch your arms, keeping the left arm where it is, scooping the right hand behind, bending at the elbows, taking the bind. So the bind looks like this, or holding the outside of the clothing. Elbows pointing upwards. Good. Slowly releasing, inhaling back to our warrior A. Leaning forward, plant the hands, step back to plank. Inhale, expand upper back, exhale down, knees, chest, chin, bow with control. Pubic bone to the mat. Slide the hands forward. Inhale for the choice of back bend. Couple of breaths. Exhale, lower. Plant the hands. And then we're going to lift to knees, downward facing dog, or straight to downward facing dog. Inhale to the knees. And 7 dolphin dips. So here you have the option of staying on your knees or lifting them. So it's entirely up to you. So you can practice 7 on the knees as we did last time, or lifting the knees. So it's the same setup. So we hold the outside of the elbows, rotate the hands in. So knees and feet together, tucking the tailbone under, really engaging that space between the shoulder blades. And if you wish to, we just lift the knees. And then inhale, come forward. Exhale, press back. 6 more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, 4 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, last one. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale to the knees. And exhale, press back to child's pose. So again, either knees together, knees wide. So coming to a lovely child's pose. Maybe you want to support your head. Perhaps you want to take pebble, where we hold our heels. Maybe taking dorsal fin. Or stretching the hands forwards. So just taking child's pose in a way which just feels really lovely for you. So really taking our time here to stretch, trying to soften the hips, encouraging the hips towards the heels. Nice. So whilst we're in child's pose, we're going to slowly walk hand over towards the right. So feeling a nice stretch through the left side. And then if you wish to, maybe placing the left hand on top of the right for a slightly deeper stretch. So holding it here. Nice deep breath, slowing that breath. And then walking hand over hand back to center. And then hand over hand all the way over, this time to the left. Maybe placing the right hand on top of the left, feeling that deep stretch. This time the right side of the body. And then returning hand over hand all the way to the center. Really stretching those hands forwards. And then walking the hands all the way back in as we make our way to tabletop. So we're going to practice a posture now called thread the needle. So I'll practice it this way. So we're going to start off with the right hand. Again, maybe padding up those knees. So right hand. Actually, if I come this way, I think that would be easier. So right hand, we inhale, open up the right, and exhale as we thread. So 2 more, inhale, opening up, and exhale, thread. Inhale, open. This time we're going to hold it down here. Thread the needle. So here we want to really tuck that right shoulder down. The side of the head is in contact with the mat. If you find it's not in contact with the mat, you can take a block, you can take a bolster. Maybe that feels nice. As long as the head and the neck are completely supported. And perhaps you want to walk that left hand forwards, maybe taking it to the back of the body, the back of the pelvis. Having just a few breaths here. And then moving the left hand back to the mat as with strength we inhale, lifting up, opening up, and exhale. And let's take that straight to the other side. So I'll rotate this time, the right side, in order that you can see the left. So this time you open up the left arm and exhale, thread. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. So again, really tucking that left shoulder down. Face is in touch with the mat, feeling lovely and comfy. So you might want to move that right hand forwards, or you have the option to take it to the back of the pelvis. Good. Hopefully the breath is starting to feel slower, deeper. And then planting the right hand as we inhale, lifting up with the left, and exhale as we come back to tabletop. So Earth Salutation. I love Earth Salutation. It's a way of feeling really grounded. It's really calming. And if you practice this with me in class, you practice this quite a few times, you have that lovely option of having this salutation, practicing it with closed eyes. And when you do that, you move in a way that just feels so much slower, so much more embodied, where you really do move with breath and movement. So maybe practice the first one if you're new to salutation with me with your eyes open, and then see how it feels with your eyes closed. So this is a lovely slow salutation. Now we start off here with our knees bent. Now if that doesn't feel at all comfortable for you, then your starting position can be here. That's absolutely fine. So we start off at the back of our mats. So we inhale to lengthen, exhale, come into the fold. Inhale to tabletop. Walking the hands forwards, exhale, lower the body with control. Slide the hands forwards, inhale for Sphinx. And exhale as we lower, so taking the toes together. I have to wiggle here to have enough room. Palms together, forehead to the mat. So taking the prostration. So staying here for a few breaths. So feeling that connection with the earth beneath you. Feel the breath as you breathe into your belly, pressing into the mat, into the earth. Toes together, the hands together. Everything connecting. And then slowly sliding the hands back as we inhale for our Sphinx. Moving the hands to the chest as we exhale back to tabletop and into child's pose. Inhale as we lengthen and exhale, hands to heart center. So 2 more rounds. So we inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale to tabletop, exhale, walk the hands forward, lower with control. Slide the hands forward. Inhale for our back bend. Exhale, take the prostration. So hands together, toes together. Holding for a few breaths. And then inhale as we lift up for our Sphinx. Exhale, plant the hands all the way back to child's pose. Inhale as we lengthen and exhale, hands to heart center. Last round. So if you've been practicing this with your eyes closed, maybe try this one with closed eyes. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, walk the hands lower with control. Slide the hands forward, pubic bone to the mat. Inhale for Sphinx. Exhale as we take the prostration. So stretching those toes away together, stretching those hands forwards. One more lovely big inhale in. And then exhale, sliding the hands back as we inhale for Sphinx. Moving the hands back either side of the chest as we exhale to child's pose. Inhale as we lengthen. And exhale as we take the hands to heart center. And if you haven't closed your eyes, just close your eyes for a moment and notice how that feels within your body. Perhaps you feel more still, a little calmer, more peaceful. Your breathing is lovely and slow and deep. And then blinking the eyes open. So we're going to finish with a couple of lovely cool down postures. So let's start with a twist. So coming to lie on your back. We'll begin by just hugging the knees in and rocking from side to side. So perhaps you want to draw some little circles around the sacrum, the base of the spine, one way, then the other way. And then returning the feet to the mat, either together, knees and feet together, or hip width, especially if you have anything going on with your lower back. Tucking the tailbone under, arms lovely and wide as we exhale, both knees over towards the right. So both shoulder blades in contact with the mat. Perhaps now thinking about closing your eyes. Gathering your awareness inwards as we start to soften the body. So softening around the left hip, the left side of the waist, the rib cage, the chest, the collarbone. Softening the left shoulder all the way down the arm to the tips of the fingers, now soft and relaxed. Lovely, slow, deep breaths. And then inhale to center, we tuck the tailbone under just to realign the pelvis. And then exhale over this time to the left. It's just allowing the legs to be completely soft and heavy. And focusing on softening around the right hip, the right side of the waist, the rib cage, the chest, the collarbone, the right shoulder all the way down the right arm to the tips of the fingers, soft, heavy, relaxed. One more lovely big inhale and exhale, and then inhale to center, tuck the tailbone under. So we'll finish with happy baby. So you have two options for happy baby. So let's draw the knees in. So either when we bend the knees and feet flat, we hold the back of the thighs and encourage the knees down towards the armpits, or we take the hands to the inside of the feet and then just gently cup the outside of the feet, and then again encouraging both knees down towards the side of the body. So keeping the chin tucked in to lengthen the neck, trying to keep the length of the spine in touch with the mat, and maybe you want to take a little roll from side to side. And then releasing happy baby, lying full length along the mat, maybe taking the arms above the head, taking a lovely stretch. So if you wish to stay here longer in Shavasana, then taking the arms to the side of the body, palms up, remaining here, and maybe turning off the video. Otherwise, we are going to take the hands together in Anjali Mudra at the heart center, and then moving them to the space between the eyebrows, the third eye, and just taking that moment of gratitude for someone or something in your life today. And then moving them back to heart center. Thank you for attending this lovely video on balance. I hope you found it beneficial, and I'll hope to see you again soon. Namaste.